Okay, welcome to Bahamas Beauty Trades podcast, where we will be having one beautiful conversation at a time. And this day we have the lovely Dr. Zelrona Mackey.
Good evening,
Great to have you in.
Great to be here. Great to be here.
Yes. So, just for the record, tell them what your name is.
I'm Dr. Zelrona Mackey. I'm a cosmetologist. I also teach cosmetology, BTVI, R.M. Bailey, and now at CC Sweeting.
So what inspired you to get into teaching? What was the push?
You would not believe it.
Tell me.
When I came back from New York, I went to school in New York. I went to Wilfred Academy, 51st and Broadway, and I liked the school environment that I was in. And when I came back, I started doing voluntary stuff at girls' school, girls' industrial school, and also at the prison. And this was back in 1983, 82, 83. And I just liked it. I got into it. I started developing information and imparting knowledge to people. And I really and truly came out liking it. So I decided in 1992, the government finally hired me as a teacher at BTVI, an instructor at BTVI.
So that's interesting. But when you got started at the industrial school, what were you teaching at that time?
Cosmetology.
Oh, you were still teaching cosmetology.
Yeah, I started out teaching cosmetology, and I have not stopped. That has been it for me.
That's your main discipline.
Yeah, that's my main discipline.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, that's wonderful. Cosmetology.
And my specialty would be chemicals or chemistry, chemical hair services. Hair cutting, and you can put hair coloring also involved in that. Yeah.
Hair coloring in that as well. Okay, the last time we talked, we talked a little bit about how you got started, and when you got started your career, was grooming gaining popularity?
It was very popular. And the beauty pageant scene in the country was also very popular then also. And so persons like myself as cosmetologists, we would be hired to groom whomever hired you.
Yes.
From start to finish. Whether it's the pageant, definitely the night of the pageant was your crowning glory. But prior to that, the cocktail reception, the interview, all these little things the girls had to do. And so you were there on call to do their hair for the entire time that they were focused on Miss Bahamas or Miss Discovery Day or Miss Commonwealth.
Yes.
Okay. Some of those pageants don't exist any longer. So,
I was about to ask you, what was the first one you could recall, the first pageant that you participated in?
Believe it or not, Miss Bahamas.
Miss Bahamas.
Yeah.
You remember who was the person?
No, I don't even remember. I'm going to be honest.
Do you remember the year?
It should have been in the 86, I think. 85, 86.
Yes.
Then there was a Miss Discovery Day. And then what also helped me along were weddings.
Right.
A lot of people wanted their hair in proper order for weddings and birthday parties, that sort of thing. We did a lot of weaving then.
Yes, yes.
But not a lot of this frontals and lace fronts and all of that. We didn't do all of that. But we did a lot of weaving, stitching and sewing, plaiting, stitching, and plaiting and stitching. That's it. And those were the days where the same thing you're accomplishing right now
Right.
is the same thing we used to do, but with a different method.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Different techniques.
Different techniques,
Yes.
different methodology of doing it, closer stitching. Okay. I know our former president of the Bahamas Cosmetologist and Barbers Association.
Yes.
That was how she got her claim to fame. Dr. Delarice Taylor.
Oh, yes, yes.
Really and truly, she was a wig maker, believe it
Okay.
or not. You know,
Really good at it.
Really good at
wonderful.
it. And people came from all over. Then you had persons like, well, before her, it was like Dr. Bernadette Burroughs.
Yes.
Okay, Bunny, everybody called her Bunny.
Okay.
She used, Beauty Rama was the name of her
I
store.
remember that. I remember the store.
Yeah. She was one of the first Bahamians to import hair. Okay,
Oh.
and make weave and stuff right there in her store on Robinson Road.
Wow.
Directly opposite Minnie Street
Minnie
in that
Street,
area.
yes.
Yeah. Of course, we were the movers and shakers of the beauty industry. Lowe's Wholesale and them did nothing unless they involved us in some aspect of it or the other.
A lot has changed.
Yeah, a lot has changed. They didn't bring anybody into the country. They were bringing people into the country to teach us the beauty trades, okay?
So that begs a very interesting question. You said that Lowe's Wholesale was really right up there with you, organizing.
They worked hand in hand with
What
us.
happened? What happened? Because I don't
know.
know anything about Lowe's Wholesale today, participating
Yeah.
in the beauty trades in the front, really pioneering everything with the discipline
Every
movers.
new product that Lowe's Wholesale brought into the country,
Yes.
cosmetologists were the testing, our Bahamian cosmetologists
Right.
and Barbers Association was basically the testing grounds. Our people were the first ones to be exposed to Lowe's hair shows. And when I talk about hair shows, I'm talking about Revlon, TCB, a least expensive product. But when you talk about hair shows, you're talking about the TCB, the Fab Relaxer, Motions. Design Essential and them came on. They are the later version of the beauty trades area.
Yes.
But if there was a new color that Clairol had,
Yes.
or a new system of color that Clairol had, Lowe's would organize a seminar, and we would be the first set of people to be using it within the country. And I dare say within the Caribbean, because they did it for us first. And then they went to Jamaica and Trinidad and all the
Right.
other countries within the Caribbean. So the Bahamas was really, we were the number one market in terms of those areas, the number one market. And then you had places like Beauty Shack coming on stream.
Right. Beauty Shack. That's right.
And they fell in line almost, that whenever they had a new product, they would then organize a show and have the Bahamian cosmetologists and barbers again, all the reps. Lowe's Wholesale, I can safely say Mr. Lowe, Gloria Brown, Mr. Sands
Okay,
and
Mr.
Gloria
Sands, yes.
Brown were the two movers and shakers at that point in Lowe's Wholesale. So they really and truly pushed the Bahamian cosmetologists onto the market with the different kinds of products. Then you had Commonwealth Beauty Supplies, Mr. Roberts.
Commonwealth Beauty Supplies.
Yeah, Commonwealth Beauty Supplies. They're still located on East Street
East
South.
Street, yes,
yeah,
I remember.
Okay.
I remember them.
Pedro Roberts
Yes.
is the name, and they were the other ones who, any product that came into the country, we were the very first. They would have seminars, and they would teach us collectively how to use the products, okay? And then we would purchase right there and then When you're leaving from all of their hair shows and stuff,
Right.
you might pay $50, $60, but when you're leaving out of there, you get $50, $60 worth of products
Okay.
to take with you. And every one of us took advantage of those products. And those, you would call it the special buys at that time.
Right.
So Crystal Palace was our place, one of the hotels that we would go to. Crystal Palace, Sheraton British Colonial Hotel, the Nassau Beach Hotel. Those hotels are non-existent any longer, but they are the hotels that we would go to from 9 until 12. You would be in seminar, you'll see how the working of the product was, then you have lunch, and then after lunch you'll either have another presentation
Yes.
between, because I don't know, well, in our society, any seminar that goes on after 3 o'clock is not, that's the limit for Bahamians. 3 o'clock in
Right,
the
3
afternoon. Okay, that's school pickup time.
Right.
All of those little things. Okay, and so they organize themselves that you could even be there from 8:30 until 3. Okay,
Yes.
after 3, people start to take their leave and disperse and go pick up their kids and do other things.
So what do you think happened with that type of relationship? Because this is really amazing. I didn't know they were so intricately involved with the industry. I don't hear about that today, and I've been in it for quite some time.
Exactly.
Yes.
People change. People get older. Styles change. People become less interested in the generational. It is a generational divide. Okay. I called Gloria Brown's name and Mr.
Sands. I think you said it, Mr. Sands. Yes.
Those were the movers and shakers in Lowe's Wholesale that moved their products along.
Right.
Okay. And so they needed us as a community
Yes.
to be exposed to their jazzing products,
Right.
to do their color products, Miss Clairol and all of them. And then you also had them, they wanted you to expose the Bahamian people to their relaxers.
Right.
Okay, because everybody was getting into the relaxer system. And so from the relaxer, then people started getting back into the natural hair. And so the relaxer sort of phased out a bit.
Okay.
But everybody started going with the locks and the shampoo and the various kinds of conditioners. And so Lowe's Wholesale was a part of that also. But then Thompson Trading started coming on to stream also. And they started showing off their Pantene Pro V products and all the natural kinds of products for different hairstyle and that sort of thing. And so it changed from one company to the next, but Lowe's Wholesale was the grandfather of the beauty industry here in the Bahamas.
That is absolutely beautiful.
And
It's beautiful.
see, I keep telling younger people this whole thing about lace caps and frontals and all of that stuff, that came about of the advancement of women having cancer. And so as a cancer treatment and for women not to feel bad about themselves,
Yes.
they already have the cancer within their body. And then they are walking around they're going into chemotherapy. The chemotherapy is taking out their hair. And so for them not to feel less than, that's when the lace caps and the frontals came about, and the gluing of the hair came about, so that they would have this luscious, luxurious looking hair. Even though they're sick, they still had that about them. And women, people always say, your hair is your beauty. Yes, okay. So these women wanted to feel that way. They were sick, but they were also wanting you to look at them as a healthy woman with beautiful, luxurious hair. And so hence that whole era
Yes,
of
era.
having the lace caps and the weaves came about. And then they progressively and aggressively got more into that, because all you had to do was really put it on, put some glue around the front, and it stays on for the entire day or the entire week. And you just do whatever you want to do, you know. But like I say, I really like making women look good.
Women look good.
And it's a thing that I think when I die, I want to die empty though.
Yes,
You
that's
know,
a good
making
place to be.
sure that whatever,
Pour everything out.
yeah, whatever stuff that is locked in here somehow or the other, that is poured into everybody, everyone.
Yes. That's a very wonderful note for us to end on. And we thank you so much, listeners. You've been listening to the Bahamas Beauty Trades podcast, where we will be having one beautiful conversation at a time.